regardless of what kind of party you're going to be having, since we're getting back to some kind of normalcy with this crazy pandemic, I'd like to leave you with 5 things you're going to need to ask your entertainer before you hire them for that very special event. Ricky here with DJ Arl's Entertainment, and here is the first thing you're going to need. The first thing you're going to need is to find out what kind of event you're going to be having in the first place. And the reason that's very important is because when you ask your entertainer, you need to be very specific and ask them and say, hey, have you ever performed for a corporate function, a product launch, a wedding, a retirement, a religious kind of an event, or any number of kind of parties that are out there? And they will let you know with the way they respond, whether they're versed at it or they're not versed at it. If they say some crap like, yeah, I've seen it before, or I'll look it up on YouTube, you might as well put them to the side unless you have already seen them perform and you like their style and you're willing to train them a little bit beforehand before hiring them. Sure. But if you never met them first time and they say, sure, I'll look it up, whatever, be very careful about that. Would you trust an entertainment company and put it in their hands if they have no experience whatsoever in the kind of party you're going to be holding? So that's the first thing out of the 5 very important questions you're going to need to ask before hiring your entertainment company. The second thing on my list here is testimonials. Make sure you get some sort of testimonials and that these testimonials are legit. Don't just get testimonials that say, great job, fun party, really swell. Not that crap. Get the awesome stuff that tell you exactly what the person did that made them stand out in the first place. You really interacted with our crowd. You really kept everybody on their feet. You were there during the dinner time, during the actual beginning of the reception, the way you introduced us as we walked in, or whatever number of things that they can say about you. Make sure that they have very specific accolades or compliments about the entertainment company you're trying to hire. The third thing you're going to need, and the third thing on my list here is, how many members are they going to be bringing with them to help them set up? Now, honestly, 2 is more than enough. Personally speaking, depending on the size of the party, 2 is more than enough. If they have more than that, they're just bringing their crew. And if you're okay with that, then by all means, sure. But if they're saying, hey, 150 people at your party, okay, I'm bringing 6 of my people. The reason why this is important to ask is because you may not have enough food to feed them. And personally speaking, it's crazy if they're expecting you to feed 6 people, because that's coming out of your pocket. If you're going to feed anybody, feed the primary person, feed the person who's going to be helping them with the music, and also the packing of the equipment. Sure, those are the 3 that you're probably it's probably worth feeding them and taking care of them. But 6 people, that's crazy. So be very, very, very alert and make sure you ask, how many people are you bringing? Okay. And the fourth thing you're going to need to ask is, how much is it going to cost? And the reason why this is important is not because of the price they give you, it's the response to this question. If the first thing they tell you is, oh, don't worry about it, I'm going to give you a discount, I'd be running for the hills. And the reason being is because if they're willing to give you a discount without knowing much about your party, that's crazy. That means they're desperate for work. Now, desperate for work, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. That's a good thing if they're good at what they do. However, if they say, I'll give you a discount and you better book us now, otherwise we're going to get booked by somebody else. If that were the case, you'd already be booked, buddy. You know that, and I know that as an entertainer. Now, if that date is just open for you, then by all means, great. That's wonderful. Maybe it will get booked. But if you're willing to give a discount right off the bat, that's scary. Be careful with that kind of an entertainer. Me personally, I don't give discounts. I give you a package of what it is we offer and whether or not you would like to add to that package or whether you'd like to modify that package. The reason why I will never offer a discount is because I take pride in what I do. I make sure you get every penny, if not more. I'd like to offer more than what you ever pay me. That's just the way I work. Now, I hope my fellow entertainers will do the same. Don't offer discounts just to close a deal because you may ruin that person's very special day. If you're not good at what you're doing, fellow entertainer, turn them down. They'll respect you more for that, and they will even refer you if they have that relationship with you and they say, hey, this person's been honest, he can't handle it, but he said he specializes in this. So be very careful when it comes to pricing, packages, and watch out also for hidden cost. Be very careful about hidden cost. Make sure you get everything in writing, signed on a dotted line. They say, okay, you're going to pay us 2,000. That's it. Unless it specifically stipulates if you want to go longer than 4 or 5 hours, then sure, overtime is stated in there in the contract as well. If you go over the 4 or 5 hour time that you hired us for, this is how much it is per hour over that time. That's clear, that makes sense, that's not hidden, that's understood. Otherwise, be careful. Oh, well, I brought an extra person, I gotta pay him. Oh, wait a minute, I set up an extra light, you gotta pay for that. No, you don't. Be very careful about that. The fifth thing here is gear. And the reason why their equipment and gear is very important is because of this alone. Can they handle your party, the amount of people you have? Or are they only versed at providing gear for a group of 150 to 200 people? What if your party is 600, 700, which I've done? So I understand you need to bring one hell of a lot more gear than just two little speakers and a wired microphone. So be very, very, very diligent and make sure that they have the amount of gear that you're expecting so that your audience enjoys that experience. Because if they have only two speakers, you have 1,000 guests, guess what? Hello, hello. You're gonna have like a weird echo. It may not even reach the back because that's a huge amount of people. 500 and up, that's a good, very, very, very good amount of people. I would personally bring 4 speakers, 2 fronts, 1 sub, 5 speakers total actually, if I'm including the sub. 2 speakers, 1 sub, and then 2 speakers near the center so it hits the people in the back. So that's a 5 speaker setup that will cover and encompass that amount of people very easily. And I've done it. And I'm sure my fellow entertainers can do the same. Just make sure they have that gear. Also make sure to let them know in advance, I need to connect my montage or a projector or a DVD player or a computer to your sounds when I play my montage. If it's a wedding, birthday party, retirement, corporate function, whatever event it is, make sure you let them know in advance and make sure to find out how much it is for that extra service if there is a service fee for that. And if they have a sound board, not a DJing mixer board, a soundboard separate from the DJing mixer board, because you may want to have somebody sing. And if you sing off of a DJ mixing board, which is with the 2 turntables and then the mixer in the center and you plug your mic in there, genuinely, you're probably going to sound like crap. You're going to hear it well because that's what regular club DJs use, yo, hey, whatever. And you're going to sound like that. But if you're singing, you want a little bit of effect, you want a little bit of reverb, you want a little bit of whatever it is you add so that you sound great. And that's what the mixing board will provide you. Also, if they have a mixing board, guess what? If you have a performer who's coming in with a piano, a guitar, they can go ahead and tap into that mixing board and they can have audio when they're playing their piano or audio when they're playing their guitar and performing for the special event. So make sure you know exactly what kind of gear you're going to need. Now here's some tidbits that I highly, highly recommend as well, outside of the 5 factors that I just shared with you. You want to make sure that you're comfortable working with that entertainer. Right off the bat, you're going to say, hey, my gut feeling tells me I should be a little bit worried because I don't know if I have that trust factor yet or belief or believability that this person can take care of my party. Now, if they provided you a testimonial or if you've seen it perform before, then yes, that's a huge, huge factor whether or not you're going to want them. But if you meet them for the first time, what you see is typically what you should get. If they're an excitable person, me, I'm an excitable person. I'm just naturally this way. So when I get to the event, it's it's elevated even more so that your guests are excited. Now, if they show up and they're very serious, okay, we're gonna go and discuss your party. It's gonna be very important here. If they're acting like a lawyer or something, then I don't know. I don't know. That's a judgment call on your part. But if they are who they are, you will see it immediately. All of a sudden, you can't just turn on a switch and say, "Okay, I'm excitable man." No, it doesn't work that way. Your personality will shine through as a performer, and you, as the client, need to make sure you put in your due diligence and whether you're comfortable with that performer or not. Don't just base it on price. And I'm talking about low price and high price, because a high price DJ does not mean they are great. It means they're an amazing salesperson. Okay. If they sell it for so high and somebody who is midway can perform better than they can, that's an amazing salesperson. Hey, entertainer, I give you so much credit for that. But don't base it judged on the height of the price and how low the price is. Find somewhere in between. More importantly, make sure you're comfortable with that entertainer. Now, I hope this helped you. So when you plan your wedding, your retirement, your graduation, your backyard party, your house party, your corporate function, your product launch, your bar mitzvah, your bar mitzvah, your religious celebration of some sort, I hope these 5 tips helped you very much. And just to reiterate what the 5 tips were, number 1, make sure you ask them if they can handle your type of event. Number 2, testimonials and video of them performing. Number 3, how many crew are they going to be bringing with them? Number 4, their cost, their packages, and exactly what they have to pay at the end of the event or prior to the event. And number 5, the gear that they are going to be bringing. Make sure you know whether you want wireless mics, how many, and if they can tap into their soundboard, if they even have a soundboard, because a lot of DJs I know, straight up, DJ mixer, boom, straight to the speaker. Make sure you know what it is you want to have happen at your party, because if you leave it in the hands of the entertainer, that's a very scary risk you're taking. Don't ever leave it in the hands of the entertainer. Your ideas, your creativity, your thoughts, the DJ, the entertainment company has to make your ideas, your thoughts, your dream come to fruition. Make it happen. And don't ever, please, don't ever hire a DJ that says, yeah, just give me the itinerary on the day of the event. Hell no. If your DJ is not in contact with you constantly through email or through text or through message, I'd be a little concerned. Me, I personally, I'm always in contact with my clients because I want to know if they want to modify, they want to upgrade, they want to add stuff, they want to remove stuff, they want to change music, they want to add music, they want to change lighting, they want to change the number of speakers, they want to change the number of guests. There are so many factors out there. If you have any questions or if you have any thoughts, leave me a comment and I'll happily give you my 2 cents, and I hope it's going to help you. Otherwise, have an amazing party and I will see you guys at the next event. Bye, everybody.